The Wild West was a time of great adventure and danger for both men and women. But while men were often portrayed as the swaggering heroes of the Old West, women had to be just as tough and resourceful in order to survive. They faced incredible challenges, but they never gave up. In the Wild West, there were few jobs that were off limits to women. They worked as ranchers, farmers, teachers, nurses, and even bounty hunters. Some women even took on dangerous jobs like working in saloons and gambling halls. They showed everyone that they were smart, brave, and skilled. They earned respect and admiration from their peers and customers. One of the most famous examples is Calamity Jane. Calamity was a scout, a nurse, and a wagon train guide. She was known for her toughness and her ability to handle a gun. She also had a reputation for being a bit of a wild child. Another example is Annie Oakley. Annie was a sharpshooter who toured with Buffalo Bill's Wild West show. She was known for her incredible accuracy, and she could shoot a gun out of someone's hand or a playing card out of thin air. In a world where violence was commonplace, women knew they had to be able to protect themselves. They learned to shoot guns, ride horses, and use knives. Some women even became expert marksmen. One of the most famous examples is Belle Starr. Belle was an outlaw who was known for her skill with a gun. She was also a mother, and she taught her daughters how to shoot so they could protect themselves. Another woman is Susan B. Anthony. Susan was a suffragist who fought for women's right to vote. She was also a skilled marksman, and she often carried a gun with her. It wasn't uncommon for women to travel alone in the Wild West. They might be on their way to a new job, visiting family, or simply exploring. While traveling alone could be dangerous, women learned to be resourceful and to trust their instincts. One example is Mary Fields, a former slave who became a mail carrier in Montana. She was known for her strength and her fearlessness, and she often traveled alone through dangerous territory. Another example is Nellie Bly. Nellie was a journalist who traveled around the world in 72 days. She was known for her adventurous spirit, and she often put herself in dangerous situations in order to get a story. In the Wild West, it wasn't unusual for women to be widowed or divorced. These women often found themselves raising families on their own. They had to be strong and independent, and they had to learn to do everything from cooking and cleaning to mending clothes and doctoring wounds. Martha Jane Canary is one example. Martha was a frontierswoman who became known as Calamity Jane. She was widowed at a young age, and she raised her son on her own. She was a tough and resourceful woman, and she was able to provide for her son and give him a good life. Another woman who raised a family on her own is Susan B. Anthony, whom we just talked about. She was also a mother, and she raised her daughter on her own. She was a strong and independent woman, and she was able to provide for her daughter and give her a good education. Women in the Wild West broke down many barriers. They proved that they could do anything that men could do, and they paved the way for future generations of women. One of the most famous examples is Annie Oakley, whom we talked about as well. She was one of the first women to be accepted into a male-dominated profession, and she helped to pave the way for other women who wanted to pursue careers in traditionally male-dominated fields. These are just some of the shocking things that women did to survive in the Wild West. There are many more stories of women who were brave, adventurous, and amazing, and showed us that nothing is impossible if you have determination, courage, and passion to guide you. They showed us that women can do anything that men can do, and sometimes even better. Thank you all for watching this video, and don't forget to leave a comment down below and let us know what you think about this topic. See you next time!